Hello, it's Changwei again. Now I'm going to show you what is my project source code and briefly what they do. So firstly, I'm using the IDE which is called IntelliJ, and this is a very powerful software. And on the left side, I have some pages, some indexed HTML, like HTML file, CSS file, and the JS file. For my project, I think I only used some third-party libraries such as Bootstrap, jQuery, not jQuery, jQLite, and that's it. So mainly, my main logic it lives inside TourMe.js. And for index.html, it's just a demo page so that I can show you how my project is working. So let's look at this index.html first and what's inside. For this index.html page, it is a page that includes login and also some pictures, some footer that basically for demo purpose. I don't have any main logic live inside here. And another page.html is just a page that when you click on somewhere, it will jump to this page. So this also serves a demo purpose. It doesn't have any functionality lives inside. So my main logic lives inside TourMe.js, and all my CSS is living in TourMe.css, which makes my project looks nicer. So for this TourMe.css, it's kind of easy to demo, so I will just show you what is here. I designed my tour and to be TourMe toolbar, hover, like the widget, and also a lot of style definition. So for this, I'm reading in CSS. That's why it looks a little bit longer. And CSS is a raw way to define styles in the front end. And I could use something called SCSS, which is a preprocessor of CSS, and that will make my code a lot shorter. However, I just want to practice like using raw CSS. That's why I choose to use CSS. For later, for development purpose, if we have a team, then I definitely will go for SCSS because it has a lot of reusable concept involved. Okay, now let's look at our main logic, which is TourMe.js. So for this, I have jQLite embedded in this file. I'm using JavaScript ES5. That's why I have to do it this way. If I'm using ES6, I can do an import here easily to get the library in. Never mind, let's look at my main logic. I wrapped everything inside the self-invoke function so that my variable will not pollute the global variables. And this huge object, which is my tour. So basically, I can hard-code some tours here. I can allow the user to pass me a tour. So that's some options I left open for future development. I have some other variables such as initial step, layout. Those are some local variables I'm going to use frequently, so I defined the variable area. And my main logic starts right here, start tour. So it will load the tour, find the tour, which if it has one, then it will stop the previous tour and set up the widget, display the tour step. Okay, and then another well, since we are talking about stop, so for start and stop, starts the tour, set up everything. For stop, it stops the tour, and also it do a lot of cleanup, as you can see here. And after that, I have the newly added show list. this will show all the available tours, and I could also add a search functionality here. Here, if I have, say, tons of tours, I can also add pagination. So that's some things I could improve later in the future. All right. This is create spotlight. Basically, it will highlight some area and show the widget under it. So this is a feature. And also the action, handle action. Basically, I can define, not only I can click on next or the button to go to the next step, I can also allow the user to interact with the page and go to the next step, such as clicking on the element, hover on the element, so on and so forth. A lot of options. Here is a wait feature. If the step happened to be not available, say the element you're looking for is not available, is currently not available, the tour will wait for default time, which is 15 seconds. And after that, if it still cannot find the element, then it will call a stop. So basically, it will execute. The tour will exit. All right, this is another main logic. As you can see, it's super long. It's position widget. Basically, it will every time you resize a page or something happens, it will reposition the widget so that it will still point to the correct element. All right, for this code, for my project, there are still a lot of things I can do to improve, such as when you resize the page, the element position will change. That's for sure. And also when you scroll, the position of the element could also change. In order to fix that, you have to say call the function, create a function so that when you click on it, it will calculate if current frame is scrollable or not, and automatically scroll to the right element and hover under it, and then disable the scroll. So that's some of the logic and work involved, which I will keep in mind. Later I will try to implement that feature. Alright, this is everything about my project code demo. Thanks for watching.